Hello everyone, my name is Yuebo. I come from China. Currently, I'm a PhD student in University of Malaya. I'm very honored to be here to join in ICPEL virtual conference. Okay, our paper's topic is a practical approach to online teaching in China during the pandemic of COVID-19. No stop teaching, no stop learning. The full paper was written by Rafiza Bilit, Siti Haja, and me. Dr. Rafiza and Dr. Siti are faculties of University of Malaya, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. My presentation consists of 5 parts. There are introduction, research method, findings, and the conclusion. Okay, well, let's move on to the first part. Because of the pandemic, the Ministry of Education of China issued a notice on January 29 this year, requiring schools across the country to make full use of the online platform to carry out teaching activities and put forward the idea of no-stop teaching, no-stop learning. There are a big number of schools and students and teachers joining the online teaching. The COVID-19 crisis has left all teachers suddenly unprepared in the deep water of online swimming pool. This is a huge experiment of online education driven by crisis and a real opportunity to observe the transformation of education by online educational practice. Okay, our research objectives below here. Our study will provide a large amount of practical data and provide a reference for future development of education information about large-scale education reform. There are some questions will be answered in this research. Can teachers, students, parents, and administrators adapt to the online education? How do they feel about online education? What problems will be found in online education? Do they think online education is appropriate for the level of education they are involved in? Do they think online education is likely to replace traditional education in the future? And we give suggestions on particular areas of emphasis in the development of online education in China. Okay, now we will move on to the research methods. The universal design for instruction, distance education quality, benchmarks, andragogy module, and the Maclelland achievement motivation theory was the important theoretical basis of our study. 3 provinces were selected as the research areas. There are 42 primary schools, 37 middle schools, 28 vocational colleges, and 34 ordinary universities had participated. By June 20, totally more than 300,000 valid questionnaires have been received from teachers, students, and parents. 292 administrators were interviewed online, and some teachers, students, and parents are also interviewed. The details you can see table 1. Okay, let's move on. Findings. Our research group got a big survey data. Because time is limited, only 5 findings are shown here. First one, according to the statistics of the questionnaire, we found 40% of primary schools and secondary schools teachers think the online teaching effect is normal. More than 40% think the effect is bad, and just 13% think the effect is good. Considering traditional face-to-face teaching effect is better than online teaching, proportion is as high as 90%. In the teaching difficulty, class discipline, monitoring difficult, and online teaching method lack as the highest proportion are 75.24% and 74.29%, followed by can't find the right way to understand the student learning situation, accounted for 65.71%. Okay, finding 2. The proportion of primary and middle school students think the effect of traditional face-to-face teaching is better than online teaching is above 85%. Among the difficulties encountered in online learning, difficulty in focusing on online learning and the lack of teacher guidance are the highest proportion. We can see Figure 2, accounting for 33.11% and 47.32%. And we also found nearly 80% primary and secondary school parents have worried about online teaching. The most worried about eye health hazards and lack of classroom atmosphere. Next, teachers in vocational college use live class as teaching method, accounting for 91%, and the push learning resources account for 60%, and other teaching methods are also used. You can see figure 3 here. Nearly 90% of higher vocational teachers believe that face-to-face traditional teaching is better than online teaching. About 75% of teachers think that the effect of practical training courses is particularly bad. The fourth finding, the research group found that data set of primary and secondary schools and universities. The questions answer whether want to continue online teaching showed very different as a result. The students and teachers in the university more than half hope in the future in online teaching. After discussion, the research group decided to subdivide the data. According to the separated postgraduate education data, a high percentage of students and teachers support online teaching in the future, with nearly 80% of graduate students and nearly 90% of graduate supervisors supporting online teaching in the future. Postgraduate tutors recognized that among the advantages of online teaching, teaching location is not limited, and more teaching resources can be chosen to share with students account for the highest proportion, which are 99, 66%, and 76.62%. Postgraduates think that among the advantages of online teaching, learning place is not limited and learning time can be adjusted by oneself. Accounting for here you can see 83.32% and 82.65%. The authors combining the pedagogy module and the Mercalant achievement motivation theories to analyze the feasibility of developing distance education for Chinese postgraduate education in China. Finally, we made a conclusion for our research. Through research, it is found that the online teaching effect during the pandemic has no regulation, and most of the research objects have expectations for a change of teaching methods in the future. The study proposed the development of the module of distance education for postgraduates will definitely ease the conditions for more students to enroll in postgraduate study, as well as open a new path for China lifelong education. This study has only completed the study options and suggestions, and more researcher is needed to carry out in-depth research on how to build the postgraduate education online mode, focusing on how to establish the quality assurance system, improve the evaluation mechanism and the learning support system, as well as strengthen the international cooperation, so as to guarantee the quality of online postgraduate education. Okay, that's all. Thanks for your attention. If you have any question, you are welcome to email me. Thank you. Thank you.